So I just realised none of that actually recorded, which is good. But anyway, I'll go back to what I was talking about. So we'll just run through quickly what I had spoken about prior. But as I said yesterday, I went through last night, did some research into August, did some research into seasonal tendencies and how I want to go about trading the later months. I mainly looked at a video by ICT, which I'll put up on the screen now, which was going through month by month in his 2017 mentorship and just describing and looking at the seasonal tendencies for each month. And that was a really helpful thing for me to understand. And that led me to understanding why August I've struggled so much. I mean, we can see here just by this chart of the Dow Jones, just how range bound August really is and just how consolidated it really is. I think that's what's led to a lot of my struggles this month. I've sort of made the decision for myself that going forward, I won't trade August. I take it as a holiday month and come back to the markets properly midpoint of September. De-risking first portion of September, bringing proper risk in the sort of second half of September. I just had to go and take some post in there, but coming back to where I was. I think last year I had such a bad month in August that it really put me on the back foot for the rest of the year, and I sort of developed that fear. But I would agree that April through to end of July is the most advantageous part of the year for me. I think many people would disagree with that, but for me, that's what's worked. But if we look end of September or second half of September and through till December, really there's actually very good markets. And I need to just learn to be comfortable with that and not put a fear towards it just because of how I've performed in August. I need to take it as just a lesson. You know, it's a lot better to have this lesson now than in the future when maybe capital is a lot higher. And admittedly, yes, I've lost £2,000 this month, but that's unrealised. That's £2,000 payout I could have had, but anyway, it's just something to move on from. Coming into the markets, which I had already done, but unfortunately I wasn't recording. I'm looking mainly at this gap with this volume imbalance on the daily. I'm not expecting these highs to be broken until, as I said before, September, probably pushing into the second half of September. We haven't really got any major sequential SMTs apart from the bullish one here on the 4 hour. But again, we're quite far away from that now, and so I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that. Coming into the 1 hour, we do have bullish sequential SMTs with YM, not with ES. And currently YM is actually sitting below this low here, below this low here. Now, looking at YM as well, we haven't really formed any sort of bearish sequential SMTs, and so I haven't got much to go off of at the moment. Even looking at a 15-minute, we really don't have much to be going off of, for me, anyway, apart from the bullish ones. So again, not a great bias for me at all. I'd be trading down because of the gap. I'd be trading it up because of these sequential SMTs. And so again, it is something to sit out for me. I haven't got a clean draw. I'm struggling with my analysis at the moment. I'm struggling to sort of get a good read on the markets. So for me, again, is a day to sit out. You know, it's last week of August, my last day in August to be trading, so I'm not going to be on my funded account. I'm just going to be taking a paper trade today because I want to be able to trade without any of that sort of pressure, because it is becoming a bit more like pressure, to be honest. I mean, the only thing I'm looking at the moment, I just wanted to say, is this new day opening gap and how we're reacting off that with MNQ. But yeah, I haven't got much to say other than that for now. I did go a lot more in depth when I wasn't recording, but I can't be bothered to say all of that again. So important thing is I've got it out of my mind, and that's what's important for me. So anyway, well, I'll wait till it's on 9:30 here in about a minute or so, just see how the market reacts. But if I do take a paper trade, again, it's probably going to be a bit later. I will relax. I was going to say I'll relax my entries a bit, but I'm not going to relax them. I'm going to take paper trades as if I would on a live account, and I think that's the best way to go. So we have got NQ forming this bearish sequential SMT here and changing state of direction with that. So that could be interesting for looking at shorts, which is what I wanted initially, but we have got this sort of looming sequential here. So it will really be a case of seeing if that can be broken and then going from there. And we still haven't broken it there because ES is so much higher, obviously. Even if we could break, we could break for higher. Now we've actually got a very strong bullish sequential SMT, so that's actually, if anything, making life easier. So I'm just going to flip this around here. Just flipping that 7 AM to 9 AM range there, just to see how we want to trade up. I've actually gapped quite a lot higher there on the regular trading hours, so just have to sort of watch how far price wants to trade up or indeed trade down. So there we go. ES has now actually broken that low as well, so invalidating that bullish sequential SMT, which again makes life easy. So that would have been good either way. It's tricky because although that's something I'd very much want to take, we had the PSP, we tapped into the gap, we tapped into the highs here, tapped into changing state here with the sequential here. But I can't take that there because at the time ES was still holding up here. You know, it's just not been a very clean month for me to be able to get entries in. So I can have the idea there and I can have the setup there, but I can't actually get an entry in, which is the main struggle. And then that causes me to force an entry, which I don't really want. So yeah, it's just not a great month, and it's a month to just sit out from, just observe, or even not observe. And I think in future, it will just be nice to be able to have a month where I don't trade. To be able to say, regardless of how much I've traded this month, this year, regardless of how much I've made, recently or anything, I take August off. I think that would be nice. So we're looking for quite a nice short opportunity here on ES with how it is sort of pushing up there, and YM is sort of respecting quite nicely at the moment. You know, whether you would have wanted to take that short off of the TrueMax session open, it's not bad, is it? And I could put a paper trade on here, just with 2 contracts, just so we can manage it. Let's just see. Obviously, we'd have to return back up, and I didn't bother entering because I wasn't going to anyway, but sometimes it's quite nice to have positions on in paper. I guess I can always pretend I did. So that's the thing, you know. That's another thing. I'm also not confident of ES. It's like if it was an actual account, I never would have entered that simply because it's ES. If it was NQ and it wasn't August, this would be my position right here. And to actually take that zone, even looking at 0.5 projection here, let's just see how that would have played out. Because ES is something I want to get more comfortable with as well. We've just got YM pushing up at the moment, breaking these highs. I don't necessarily see that as something to get out of a position from. I mean, at this point, if I had been in this trade on ES, obviously I would be break even right now. So I won't be re-entering it if it pushes back up. But it's just nice to mark out these sort of positions. Had I taken a more conservative position, I would be out of that by now, 1.39. If this was a live account trade on ES, I definitely would have done that. But for the sake of paper, I'll be holding down to 0.5 there. But yeah, ES is just something I need to get more comfortable with as well. You know, does ES tend to have moves this far? I don't know. I don't know if MNQ does. I don't know if ES does. And so that's something to learn there. I've always found on ES I need much greater stop losses beyond where I would normally place them. Again, something to learn. I'm comfortable trading NQ. I like just trading NQ and using the other assets. But why not let myself trade? Yes. I would say YM as well, but I think that's a whole nother story to get into and not something I want to go and explore at the moment. I just wanted to take a look at this chart as well, where now this chart is a bit skewed. Make it bigger there. No. So this chart is skewed where we got starting at July. We're ending at August, end of August. So if we come in here and we look at the month of August, starting here, ending here, again, we actually see something different in terms of pushing up rather than just straight consolidating. But look at just how small the moves are here. Look at how back and forth it is. That's my read on that anyway. This, I believe this black line is our current, whereas the blue is our historical. But just another chart to look at really. On markets at the moment, still just sort of looking at this. I'm going to take this off just so I can focus my eyes on more setups forming instead of just watching that position. Obviously break even is somewhere around Q2 open here, hypothetically. So there we go, that would have been a break even there. So now really I'm just going to be waiting about 5 minutes till Q3 to see what we can get on there. So what I'm looking at the moment is whether ES could potentially run out this high, because at the moment MNQ is lining up very nicely with the Q2 open here. So there is definitely some sort of opportunity here to take a trade within. Just realised I had that on back testing mode. Not a trade yet, obviously, waiting for Q3, which will be in about a minute or so. Obviously, the other option is we just trade long from here. The reason I haven't said that up until now, even with how much ES has been pushing up, how much YM has been pushing up, and NQ, is because I haven't had any sequential S&T at Q3 yet. We had a one for Q2. I could have taken this trade right here. Could have taken that. Would nearly be out of that by now if I was trading way up to here. Realistically, bit of bodies, Q2 open, so probably out of that by now. But it would be of this scratch S&T. The reason I didn't speak about that is because we were looking incredibly bearish in terms of the actual price action. It was just that sequential S&T that was propping that idea up. So not something I would be taking at the moment. I think also where I'm being more hesitant on paying less attention to stuff like that. And also finding that when we are having those sequential S&Ts, they're often not supported by price action, which in this case, for me, it wasn't. So again, another day for me to sit out. I don't trade Fridays anyway. I have other commitments on Fridays, but right now it is just a case of waiting. I'm not going to be waiting past 10. You know, I've got things to be doing today. I can come back to the charts and look at them in hindsight, and that's what I'll be doing. But, you know, I'll see what happens here. I don't see us forming any real bearish sequentials unless we want to come take out this high on ES, which will be here. Other than that, not much is forming for me right now. But we'll just have to sort of wait and see. I also just realised I think I was pausing the recording by accident instead of muting my microphone when I wasn't speaking, so that's annoying. Hopefully, oh, they might just cut the video length down a bit, so that's good. So MQ, that has actually pushed down a little. Wow, yeah, that's a very, very large move down. We haven't actually had any sequential SMT. Apart from if you want to class this, which is tricky to try and class. And this is simply it. It's just difficult markets at the moment for me. And I think for a lot of other people as well. I don't think it's been particularly easy for anyone, August. So I'll probably give it till 10 o'clock here, maybe just after, see where price is. It's almost comical, the markets at the moment. I mean, what is this? Truly. So I keep trying to look for things. I keep trying to put reason behind this, but I think it's just not worth me trying to put reason behind it because I'm not going to be looking to carry any of this forward into you know, the second half of September and onwards. I think it was a wise idea for me to sit out today. Although, equally, every trade I realistically could have taken, whether that was a short from here, whether that was a long from here, short from here, they all would have played out just by pure luck of how far we've moved in each direction within this range. But still, I'm sure I could have found some sort of way to take a loss. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a few more minutes past 10 and then see where we are. And so finally, we've had some sort of tradable price action, which, you know what, for the fun of it, and just for the fun of it, just to keep my attention on the markets a bit more, just put a sell limit on here and let's just see what happens. I would never take this position. I'm simply doing it to keep myself focused. Terrible entry, but it's the only position I've actually seen that I thought, you know what, that's okay. We bounced off that TCISD on ES. We've been pushing off that new day opening gap on NQ. It's the only thing I've looked at and thought, okay, maybe that could work out. Obviously, realistically, you want to be looking at a bit of a higher entry. If we had that retracement, a lot, you know, higher than where I got in, but I should put that on because I wanted to be in something like a track. So anyway, as for targets, realistically, I'm just going to be going just shy of that low. Actually, no, I'll go on the low just so we can hit a 1-to-1. And already here, break even. because we're that close to closing that candle. And actually, you know what? Why don't we? I was going to make that a partial and extend down to new week opening gap. But anyway, there we go. One win on paper. It's not much, but it's something to keep my spirits up for this session. But all that was formed on was the fact that we've had those bearish sequential SMTs now somewhat, and we were just literally just pushing off that CIST. I mean, that was only formed off of this, might I say, only formed off of that. Same with NQ. But when we actually expand that to YM, which I'll put here, that then becomes a lot more obvious as to why we're looking at that. And that just formed that CISD on ES, got the entry on NQ, bit too far of an entry, should have taken the entry up here, had it been a real trade. I wanted to make that partial and extend all the way down here, but that was a bit too late for that, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll stay on just till past 10 anyway, just to see how this plays out. I mean, even that partial could have been taken here, but hey, doesn't matter. So I think at this point I'll be out of this anyway. And now, obviously, it's clear at this point we're just forming that bullish sequential again. Whether it holds this time, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think I'll probably stay on until sort of 9 minutes past, and then I'll head off the markets and get back to sort of work. So I don't know how long the recording was paused for there. Again, I messed that up. I don't even know if it recorded me placing an entry. If it did, got an entry in here, exited down here on this low. I might repeat myself here, but I will repeat myself because I don't know if it was recorded. Obviously, paper trade. Using that bearish sequential we had here, new day opening gap, pushing off out on MNQ. We had that break below that closure here. Although I did enter prior to that, but we had such a strong candle with so few seconds left that I knew we would get that break. We had ES reacting off the true chain state direction here. Took profits on here. I tried to actually take one contract off and extend a partial down here with a trading stop, but unfortunately I was too late and my full position got exited anyway, which is good. But anyway, we then formed this bullish sequential SMT, which after this inversion would be a nice entry. Probably a better sort of entry on ES, but regardless, that can be looked at on NQ. Is it the best position to be taking given the time? No. We're looking at exactly 10 a.m, which is not ideal. Again, this isn't a good market to be sort of trading. You know, we've just been stuck in this range completely. The only trade I've managed to get in is just to a low within the range. Obviously, it did extend further than that, but I don't target that. So I will probably get off just in a couple of minutes just to see how we react off ES where it is at the moment, how NQ follows, but there's not been much here. And so hopefully my next video will obviously be coming into September, be September 1st. So hopefully we can look to get some sort of better action within there. Obviously, first week of September, it's going to be a bit lower probability anyway. And September isn't normally great until the second half. So I'm not expecting anything amazing, but hopefully a bit better than what we have had. And so I think I'll just get off here, let the market do what it wants to do, whether it wants to rally higher, whether it wants to consolidate, whether it wants to go lower. I don't have a 100% read on it, so I'm not going to keep going. I'm going to go and focus on other things for now.